Can you remember the last time that you were standing in front of the people to give a speech while you were feeling very nervous? Well, I want you to imagine yourself again standing in front of 50, 100, 200 people to give a speech. That is to talk about your business, to talk about your career, to talk about what you're passionate about. But you have no idea how to keep the audience hooked and engaged into your message. And that is one of the problems most of us are facing. In fact, I've been there several number of times. But how was I able to minimize my nervousness in front of audience? I didn't do anything much. I just applied these four main vocal foundations of communication that we are going to be discussing today. So the first one is the rate of speech. Now, what happens when you're nervous while speaking to your audience? You tend to speak very faster. But on the contrary, when you're nervous, you have to make sure that you slow down. Because when you slow down, it makes you relax and also makes your audience relax so that they can get your message. So it's very important when you're talking, you have to make sure that you slow down, especially when you're nervous. Now the question is, should I slow down the entire presentation? Absolutely not. For instance, if you're driving a car, do you drive with one gear through the entire journey? No, because otherwise you will spoil the car. There are some instances where you have to use one gear, there are some instances where you have to use 2, 3. The same thing applies to communication. There are some instances where you have to slow down. And there are some instances where you have to what? Speed up or speak fast. Now here is it. When do you slow down and when do you speak faster? If you're talking about something related to the core message itself, you have to make sure that you slow down so that your audience can get whatever you're saying, so that they'll be able to ponder on it, so that they'll be able to absorb it. So it's very necessary when you're talking about the core parts of your message, you have to make sure that you slow down. On the other hand, when you're talking about something that is not related or that is not that much related to the core message that you're sharing, that place you can speak faster a little bit so that you have more time to concentrate on the core message itself. So it's very important whenever you are on stage and you feel nervous, make sure that you slow down. It is going to keep you calm, relaxed, and build your confidence. And then the next one is the volume. The level of volume that you're speaking with in front of your audience tells how confident you are in whatever you're talking about. For instance, if I begin to talk like this, and I continue to talk like this, how would you perceive whatever I'm saying? It seems I don't know what I'm saying. It seems I have no knowledge about what I'm talking about. But if I increase the volume, give you the energy, you know that I actually know what I'm talking about. You have to be generous with your energy. Let the people feel your presence. So you have to make sure that you increase your volume to the size of the room. For instance, if you're talking to 5 people, the level of volume that you're going to use is not going to be up to the level of volume that you're going to use when you're talking to 50 people. The same thing, when you're talking to 50 people, the level of volume that you're going to use is not going to up to the volume that you're going to use when you're talking to 100 people. So in short, you have to know the size of your room. So for instance, if I'm speaking to 5 people and I begin to sound like this, my name is Ralph and I'm here to talk to you about, you'll be like, what's going on? Is Ralph on drugs? Right? So you have to make sure that you speak to the level of your room. If you're talking to 5 people, you have to know the size of the volume that you have to use. If you're talking to 50, you have to know the size of the volume that you're going to use. The same applies if you're talking to 100 people. You have to know the size of the volume that you're going to be using. And that is just know the size of your room. And that is going to build your confidence. That is going to make your message sing with your audience. That is going to make your message very clear and inspiring to your audience. So make sure that you increase your volume the next time you're given the opportunity to stand in and speak in front of your audience. It's going to be mind-blowing. Be generous with your energy. Let the people feel it so that they'll be impacted with the information that you're sharing with them. Now, the next one is melody. Whenever you're standing in front of people to talk, make sure that you add melody to your speech. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you have a book that you've read so many number of times? right? And you have a song that you've listened to so many number of times. Now, if I ask you to read half a page in that particular book from your head, will you be able to do it? Absolutely not. You won't be able to do it, right? But now, if I ask you to sing that song that you've listened to several number of times, you'll probably be able to do it. Why? Because music has melody. You are able to remember it because it contains melody. So whenever you speak with more melody, whatever you say becomes more memorable. So you have to make sure that when you're talking to your audience, and if you actually want them to be impacted by the message that you're sharing, you have to make sure that you speak with more melody so that they'll be able to remember it far after you depart. It's very important. And then the last one is just pause. Yeah, just pause. You know, some of us are very afraid to pause when we are on stage because whenever you pause, you give the power to the audience. You give the power to the audience to ponder on what you're saying, to relate with what you're saying, to absorb what you're saying. But most of us are afraid of that particular handing over the power. We want to possess that power throughout the conversation, and that doesn't make a good communicator. You have to make sure that you pause at the right times so that it is going to keep your audience engaged, so that your audience will be able to see themselves in the message that you're sharing with them. So let's do this. The next time you have the opportunity to speak in front of audience or to speak in public, make sure you apply at least one or two of these vocal foundations and you will see the difference. Until next time, see you in the next video.